I would put music and some audio cues in this intro, but I don't have any. Sorry. Oh my god. How do I describe Santa Company? You know, there aren't a whole lot of crowdfunded anime projects out there, or at least those that are actually notable. Sure, we have successes like Trigger's Little Witch Academia, The Enchanted Parade, and Lord knows what's going on with Under the Dog, but those are the two that I know of. That was, until a lesser-known Christmas-themed oddity known as Santa Company, a crowdfunded OVA, caught my eye in the most unexpected of ways. Unlike the other projects I've mentioned where I learned of their existence through word of mouth, Santa Company came my way through a message by Awesome Japan, a company that specializes in promoting independent Japanese projects overseas, with their biggest being Shenmue 3. Apparently they had me in their sights along with some of my peers to review the trailer and upload my impressions, and in return I would get a free copy. Obviously I didn't promote it back then, but since the project itself was already funded when that message was sent out, I didn't see how I could have affected anything besides promoting the extra stuff they had a separate campaign for. Apparently, this was the brainchild of one Kenji Itoso and is the culmination of 12 years of planning and the help of a team comprised of experienced anime designers and artists whose resumes include Pokemon, Eden of the East, and Love Live, just to name a few, raising a little over $12,000 to fund it via Kickstarter. And in the Christmas spirit, I have recently seen it for this review, and after watching it, I gotta say it's Christmassy, I guess. I'll try to keep it spoiler free because trust me when I say this, Santa Company is best when you don't expect much from it. For the most part, the OVA starts off on a pretty modest note, like a lot of Christmas stories do, within the North Pole-based Santa Company, where we follow the exploits of a group of Tantu, individuals who prepare the gifts for all of the nice boys and girls of the world, so that their Santa Clauses can deliver them in time for Christmas. And yes, I did just say Santa Clauses, because there are more than one of them. The group of Tantus I mentioned comprised of Noelle White, a Tantu in training who wants to grow into her occupation, Belle Crystal, a boy Tantu who seems to have some feelings for Noelle, Mint Rondo, Noelle's friend who seems to have stronger feelings for her than she lets on, and Thomas Dow, who is just kinda there. Yeah, the anime doesn't really care about him much. With Christmas upon Santa Company yet again, the toys are ready, the sleighs take off into the night, and it seems like the usual routine until it's discovered that one of the letters containing a kid's Christmas wish came in late, and it looks like the wish can't be fulfilled at this point. Not wanting to let anyone down, Noelle decides to take matters into her own hands and, with the help of her friends, sets out to deliver the gift herself, with the possibility that it could turn her into a fully established Tantu. Though, as you'd expect from a premise like this, little do they know that this seemingly straightforward delivery might not be so simple, and as the OVA goes on, let's just say it lives up to the whole might not be so simple pedigree. Believe me, you wouldn't want to know what I mean lest you go into Santa Company completely spoiled of its biggest twist. I'll downplay it, but in order to understand, you have to know a little bit of it. As I'm sitting on my ass making this review, I'm at a bit of a loss on how to review this OVA without entirely giving away the reason to watch Santa Company. So I suppose I'll start with everything else, as a crowd-funded anime made with $72,000, the limitations of the budget definitely show, with choppy animation and off-modeling being quite the common occurrence, even up close. And the background art has the kind of quality you'd expect from the first season of Higurashi, which is to say that it's kinda janky looking at times, though I will commend it for the lack of CG. In an age where a lot of anime productions use the hell out of CG to fill in the blanks, honestly, it's kinda refreshing that this OVA in particular uses 2D animation throughout, even if the presentation isn't the best. And this level of presentation is used to tell a story that's really hamstrung by the relatively short runtime of little under 30 minutes. Despite its modest goals of being a Christmas story with heartwarming intentions, it also wants to incite drama and internal conflict that appears almost as fast as it resolves. There's never really enough time to flesh out our conflicts and drama with our characters. The OVA keeps on going with the plot so much that plenty of development is sacrificed. There's supposed to be tension about whether or not they'll succeed at delivering this Christmas present, but with so little development, it's kind of difficult to engage with it. We don't really get to know these characters beyond their motivations, and even then, their motivations are the stock fare. The character who wants to undertake a journey into unknown horizons to mature into someone greater, the guy who helps his friends, the friend who cares so much that it emanates a Yuri undertone, and the character who's just kinda there. Again, who's Thomas? It's the kind of story we've seen before. The one where our characters venture out to do something kind and noble, but with how things are, it lacks the scale needed to pack the necessary power. Literally within the first 4 minutes of our characters flying out on their adventure, it suddenly starts drama where they could get into trouble for doing what they are doing, only to then suddenly have something major happen where Noelle accidentally falls out of the sleigh, and it takes place within a minute after the drama starts. The first act ends and the second act begins literally within a minute or less, and it just came off as a haphazard attempt to add high stakes. That isn't to say Santa Company doesn't have its share of genuinely effective character moments, like where Noelle has a philosophical conversation with an old man about purpose that's intended to help her understanding, but because the plot has to continue on with the short time it has, these interactions have to end so the characters can continue on. How is one able to connect much to this grand adventure when it feels so constricted? I'm not saying that the end message doesn't hit, but man, is the impact weak. The more I watched, the more I started to wonder when it'll end. I didn't hate watching it up to this point, I just didn't feel much for it. As a Christmas story, it succeeds on the surface, but for a moment there, I was losing much of my interest. That was until the most unexpected of events happened, and wow, how do I describe it? It's quite the experience of watching something with your mind zoning in and out, especially if it's subtitled. You begin to stop focusing on what is being said or misread something and have to go back to reread it. Santa Company got me with that, and I don't think it was intentional because just when I was about to declare it a big ball of fluff, it happened. What happened? The twist happened. A twist so freaking amazing. It turned this OVA from being a slog to probably one of the most awesome animes I have ever seen. And it all starts when the skies turn red and the magical beings that are supposed to be bad appear and threaten our main cast, who, in an act of desperation, pull out hoverboards and energy guns, and that's all that's it. That's all I'll ever tell you about. That's all I'll ever show you. But suffice to say, this is when shit got real. This is when Santa Company saved itself. You know how Indigo Prophecy starts out like a straight-faced supernatural mystery thriller where the story plays itself seriously and you have no idea what's going on because it's this grim mystery, but then it flips the bed over with an unexpected twist where it suddenly introduces superhuman Matrix fights? That's the kind of twist we're dealing with, except I won't tell you what happens because it is just too amazing to spoil. I will not tell you shit to you guys, other than I recommend watching Santa Company, if only for this twist, for this glorious and stupid, no, fuck that, stupid glorious twist. A twist that's stupid and glorious at the same time. Yes, this moment is literally never alluded to at any previous point in the story. You just sit there and you watch this really generic, feel-good Christmas adventure of self-discovery, doubt, and drama that all feels underwhelming or forced. Then all of a sudden this happens and suddenly your interest is vaults upwards in this out-of-place third act, which only makes it that much more of a surprise. It just pops out of nowhere, and the plot about delivering a late Christmas present and just goes into stasis. The twist is so thematically and tonally juxtaposed that it doesn't just jump the shark, it outright boosts in the air and flies over the motherfucker. And I have never had this much of a good laugh with an unexpected twist in such a long time. It is literally the reason to watch Santa Company, and I'm not kidding when I say that. This is probably what Santa Company is to be best remembered for, and though I won't spoil what happens in the scene moment to moment, let's just say that it ends on the most cheesy but laughably awesome way. It's the type of shit you normally see in an 80s action film. It's great, believe me.
And that's such an 80s cartoon moment.
It is so bankrupt of believability that it's actually pretty damn great in the most jaw-dropping fashion. Again, I won't tell you how it goes. You should go into Santa Company without knowing more than what I have told you. It's something to be seen because, hell, I can't make this stuff up. Who can make this stuff up? I can't. I can't make this stuff up. It was so beyond me that I could never think of it until now. It's incredible. I'm not sure how I can talk about Santa Company in a totally serious light after it ended. Yeah, it isn't perfect, but if the whole 12 years of planning thing is true, I suppose it doesn't need to. This was obviously a passion project. After all, it did need crowdfunding to get made. And as I watched it, I'll admit that I found it hard to trash it too much, knowing this. It has plenty of problems with dramatic build-up and the characters aren't what I call memorable, but with modest intentions and easily one of the most unforgettable uses of juxtaposition I have ever seen in a spontaneous direction shift, I think you should check out Santa Company at least once. Find a way to do so and watch Santa Company, if only for the twist. It's hilarious, I didn't see it coming, and you might just thank me later when you finish it. It's a harmless but notable blip on the anime radar.